only sometimes when there was bars between us. But
yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, thank you for taking my question. My name is Richard Rousay. I was born in Egypt, and I have a life sentence waiting for me because I did not serve in the military in Egypt. I am also Canadian, and I was sworn in by Judge Dixon to stop the torture of Canadian citizens here in Fredericton in the provincial court. And then that was November the 4th of 2014. And in November the 18th, I was arrested by the RCMP. They said they had a Canada-wide warrant for my arrest. I said, "What does the warrant say?" They said, "We don't know." And they arrested me, took me to jail for half an hour. All the time I thought I was going to be repatriated back to Egypt because it is my birthplace, and I do have a life sentence for not serving in the military. Even though I was 6 months old, my father was reassigned to Germany. Anyway, and I fled to the U.S. because I thought, man, I'm going to go back to Egypt. So I fled to the U.S. and they detained me there for 88 days. The Canadian government came to me and said, "Would you like to come back to Canada, or do you want to stay in the U.S.? Because I have permanent residency in the U.S. And I said, "Well, I'll come back to Canada on one condition, that I fulfill the mandate when I was sworn in by Judge Dixon to stop the torture of Canadian citizens." And they said, "We'll get back to you on that." They came back and said, "Yes, we'll take you back to Canada." And so that happened 88 days after November the 18th, 2014. So that's what's going on here in Canada. Yeah, we need to make some changes here, and they're not happening.
thank you, sir,
And
so much.
thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you, sir, so much for saying that. My book is 400 plus pages. I could have written another book about this issue you're talking about. First of all, I'd like to comment on the fact that Canada would not send you to Egypt, sir, if you have a life sentence. Only, and I would like to hear what you have to say, but I know so many Egyptians at the moment who are sentenced, who are on death sentences, some who are on life sentences, who are not being extradited back to Egypt because some of their governments, the governments in the West, realize that they could be under major torture or major health issues, or the government wouldn't do it. But to answer you, there's another example of a Syrian man, also in Canada, who was sent back to Syria, and he was tortured in Syria. And he came back and he sued the government here, and he won the lawsuit. So it is very dangerous sometimes. Yeah.
Well, there's another problem. My parents...
And not only Mararar, there are 3 others, by the way.
There are, and there were 3 others after that.
Yeah.
There's also another problem I have. My parents were part of the British mandate that formed Israel. So, I mean, you know, I'm getting it from all sides.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for being here.
It's great that you're saying that it's on the radio now, my understanding, but also it is a very sensitive subject, and there's a whole book to be written about it, and I'm glad that you're here with me, and we're not in the Middle East.
And I will fulfill my mandate to get with Judge Dixon and stop this torture that's been going on. Thank you.
Go ahead, yeah.
Hi, thank you so much for speaking today. I really enjoyed the talk. I just have one question. What was it like being in the midst of the Arab Spring while having a personal connection to Egypt yourself?
The hardest story I've ever covered.